Welcome everybody to DDMC Live. This is our first annual DDMC Live. It's actually our 6th annual DDMC conference. If you tried to watch the stream this morning, you probably saw there were some technical difficulties. We think we have everything fixed now, whether it was Facebook or whatever happened. We apologize for the inconvenience, but everything should be fixed now and we should be good to go. This conference is brought to you by My Social Practice, Ultradent Products, and Crown Counsel. My name is Blake Hadley. I am one of the partners and founders of My Social Practice, and this is my co-host, Hadley.
Hey everybody, you know me, it's Hadley Logic with Ultradent Products. So first thing we want to go over is please ask questions. We want to encourage you to drop them in the comments and ask our presenters anything you would like. Because of COVID-19, unfortunately, we are pre-recording those so that you're able to ask anything. They will be there for you. Also, this is worth 10 CE credits. There's going to be a total of 5 sessions. If you're not able to make all of them, each session is going to be worth 2 CE credits. There is going to be a link that's pinned to the top of your feed. You will have to take that quiz. In 7 days is when you're going to receive those CE credits. Along with that, we want to encourage you to share this with your friends. Share it in your Facebook group. It's completely free, so why not? Other than that, a little birdie told me, Blake, that there was going to be some giveaways, but you do have to be live to enter.
All right, so let me tell you a little bit about DDMC and the history of DDMC. Well, first, actually, I want to know where everybody's watching from. So if you can comment in the comment stream below, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you can see this presentation okay. If you're having any problems with lag, please let us know. Comment and just tell us anything you'd like. Any question you'd like, just comment or like this feed. We really appreciate that. So the DDMC actually started back in 2015. My Social Practice and Crown Counsel had this idea to bring the industry really valuable digital marketing ideas from some of the top marketing experts in the industry. And there wasn't any digital marketing conference at the time. So we gathered our forces together and we came up with this conference. So the first, in 2015 and 2016, our conferences were in Texas. And then in 2017 and 2018, we took the conference to Vegas at the beautiful Red Rock Casino and Hotel. And then last year, in 2019, we were here in Salt Lake, and we had one of the biggest conferences that we've ever had. Now, this year, in 2020, we have actually decided to fast-track the conference to now because of everything happening with the COVID-19 pandemic. We thought that now would be a perfect time to get you these ideas so that we could help you bounce back from the pandemic and get back to work and get back marketing digitally in your practice. So we're excited this year to have one of the biggest conferences that we've ever had. So this year we've teamed up with Ultradent for the very first time, and of course we have Crown Counsel with us this year. And I want to bring up on stage Dirk Jeffs, the CEO of Ultradent, as well as Stuart Anderson, one of the partners at Crown Counsel. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Blake. Appreciate it. Happy to be a part of this. As Blake mentioned, this is being shot at Ultradent headquarters here in Utah, and interestingly, all 3 organizations are based in Utah. My Social Practice, Ultradent, and Crown Counsel. It's a beautiful day here. It's awesome here in Utah today. So happy to be with you. Happy to be partnering with these great organizations and being able to bring this event to you at no charge. And I think that's important, especially at this time. It's no secret that the dental market has taken a big hit during the coronavirus induced crisis. And we're all struggling. We're sort of getting back on our feet now, but we've taken a big hit. When the crisis hit early on, I know our marketing department at Ultradent turned immediately to digital for obvious reasons. And that's been something that we've been very, very active on for the past couple of months and even prior to, but especially intensively during these couple of months. And I think it's one of those silver linings. It's one of those things that we're going to carry forward even after the crisis, and we're going to be much more active in that regard. And I believe all of you in your practices have probably experienced something similar to that. So the presentations that you're going to witness and be a part of over the next couple of days are going to be geared towards that, elevating that aspect of your practices. We do hope that, and we feel that, the worst of this crisis is kind of behind us. We really hope that. One of the indicators of that is within the walls of this building at Ultradent, our production crew is back to making products. They're making dental products, and they're only doing that because practices are open and patients are coming back in and things are getting a little bit closer to normal. So we're excited to be manufacturing once again. Ultradent will continue to support practitioners out there with the discounts that we've been offering to help you get back on your feet, as well as more continuing education, much of it brought to you virtually. So once again, very happy to be a part of this. Thank you for allowing us to do so and for being partners with us in this.
Yeah. We're grateful as well, Blake. Thankful to be partners with Ultradent and My Social Practice, as we have for many years. We feel like our relationship, I guess because we're close, maybe because we're in Salt Lake, but more importantly, we think that all three of these companies are committed to finding solutions for dentists. We love doing good through Smiles for Life with both of you, and we love finding solutions, especially during the pandemic. I feel like we all kind of doubled down to provide solutions to practices and to team members on how we can all kind of get through it. And we're grateful for Digital Dental Marketing Conference because it's like the next step to get back. So thanks for including us.
Yeah, well, thank you, and we're so excited. We hope to be able to do a lot more of these in the future. So thanks for letting us have it here at Ultradent.
Our pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you, Blake.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump into things. I just want to explain really quick how the conference is going to be set up. So day one, today, we're going to focus on digital marketing culture and mindset. We want to be sure that you're in the right mindset as you go into this and as you're in this recovery process and bouncing back from COVID. We want to make sure you're thinking right and your team is thinking right. So we're going to focus on that today. Tomorrow, we're going to focus on digital marketing tools and content training. So this is when we're really going to dive into all the available tools that there are out there. And we're going to cover a broad spectrum of things that you could be doing online right now. And then day three is going to be a half day. And that morning, we're going to discuss digital marketing strategy and your plan. So you can put things in place, you can assign team members to do things, and you can really get going in your digital marketing strategy. So today, this is our lineup that we have. We're going to start with a presentation by myself, and then Steve Anderson is going to speak to us, Lacey Phillips, and Eric Roman. And then we're going to continue on again at 4:00 p.m. today, so we're going to have an hour break in between the two sessions. So without further ado, we'll get started with my presentation.
All right, and I'm lucky enough to introduce Blake Hadley. He is a founder and president of My Social Practice. He has won a number of national and international awards in art direction, advertising, and creative marketing strategy. He is passionate about helping dental practices use out-of-the-box thinking to create stories that spread on social media. Over the past 10 years at My Social Practice, he has spoken to dental audiences all over the country and has helped thousands of practices thrive on social media.
Hey everyone, it's Blake from My Social Practice. I am excited to be kicking off this DDMC with my presentation, Bouncing Back with a Digital Marketing Mindset. Dental marketing is the process of attracting and retaining patients. It's the process. So even though it might not start digital, let me tell you about how the process will always end digital. All dental marketing is digital. Let me tell you about an experience that I had just this week. I got this flyer in the mail, and whenever I get a dental marketing flyer, I like to analyze it, but I also like to think about how a patient would react to this type of dental marketing. So you might look at this and say, oh, this is a flyer, this is not digital marketing. But let me talk to you about the experience that I had and the process that it took, how it turned digital. So when I got this flyer, the first thing that I saw was something interesting to me. They were giving away a free $50 gift card, and I had been looking for a dentist, and I thought this was kind of appealing that I could get a $50 gift card and at the same time find a new dentist. So this caught my eye. The first question that came to my mind is, where is this practice? So I turned it over and I saw there was a map on the back, and I saw it was close to my house, so good, that's close to me, that was a good thing. And then the next thing I asked myself was, will I have a good experience at this practice, and how can I know? So I saw underneath the logo there was a website. Now notice all the things I didn't look at. There's testimonials on there, there's another offer for a porcelain crown. I didn't really notice these things. The first thing I wanted to find out was, am I gonna have a good experience? Can I trust this practice? So I went to their website. The first thing that I went to on the website was the Our Team tab. And I looked at the pictures of the team. I read a little bit about the bio of the doctor. And they seemed professional to me. It looked like a good practice that I could trust. The next question that came to my mind was, but what are they really like? You know, they look great in these photos and in this bio, but what are they really like? And this is when I went down to the bottom of the page and I saw the links to their social media accounts. When I went to their Facebook page, there were two things that I noticed off the bat. The first thing, I wanted to know how many people liked their page, and if any of those people that liked or followed their page were my friends. So Facebook actually showed me that one of the people that liked their page was one of my friends, so I felt like I could turn to that friend and ask them if they liked that dentist. The next thing that I saw was a video that was close to the top of the page. I clicked on that video and I watched it for a little while and got to see the personalities of their team, the personalities of the doctor. They seemed like nice people. They were people that I could trust. My next question was, do other people like them? So the next tab that I went to on Facebook was the reviews tab. And I saw that they had 41 people that had put 5 stars on their account. Now, they were all 5 stars, and they were great reviews. And I thought, wow, this is maybe a little too good. I didn't know if I could trust all these perfect reviews. Let's see if I can find a little bit of dirt about these guys. So I searched them on Google, and I saw on their Google My Business page that they had 226 Google reviews. And their average was a 4.8 out of the stars, which is great. That's really great reviews. But I still wanted to find a little bit of dirt on this practice. So I went over to the Sort By tab, and I went to see their lowest rating reviews, their lowest ratings. And I saw they did have some 1-star reviews. You know, everybody kind of will have 1-star reviews. There's either a bad day or a misunderstanding, whatever it might be, there's a good chance that you have some negative reviews. That's okay. The thing that's important is that you respond to those reviews, and you respond to them in a very tactful way. So I read some of these responses, and I was impressed. I was impressed by how the practice responded to these negative experiences. I thought, not bad. They seem to have thoughtful and caring responses. So I was ready. I was ready to connect with this practice. I had looked through all of their online sites, their platforms. I liked the video. I saw some of their personality. All of this process, this marketing process, gained some confidence in this practice with me. And so I was ready to connect with them. But then I remembered one thing. Wait, it's 2020. Should I be spending the money right now? Is the practice even open? What are their hours right now during all this COVID mess? Is it safe for me to go to the practice? They're going to be working in my mouth. I don't know how much they're paying attention to these safety concerns that are happening. So I went back to the website, I went back to the flyer that they sent me, I went back to their Facebook page, and I looked for any information that had to do with COVID-19 and the things that they were doing to make sure that I would be safe and that their team would be safe. And I couldn't find anything. There was nothing about COVID-19 on any of these sites. So what am I left to do? If I want to find out, and this is a concern of mine, what would I be left to do? There's the phone, right? They have their phone number everywhere. I guess I could pick up the phone. No, not the phone. Do I seriously have to call them to find this out? Now you might think this sounds ridiculous, right? That someone's not willing to pick up the phone. But in this day and age, it's how it is. Many people don't like that pressure of having to pick up the phone before they know adequate information online. They like to do their research online. They like to find out everything that they can before they even pick up the phone. So in this experience, for me, I wasn't quite ready to pick up the phone. I wanted to know more. And it's so important that you use your online tools to inform your patients on everything they need to know right now. And you need to adapt to the current situations. Now, what if I went to their Facebook page, and at the top of their Facebook page, I saw that they had a video that addressed safety concerns right off the bat. And the video looked like this.
Hey everyone, it's Rich Rosenblatt, and on behalf of the entire Forest North Dental team, I hope this video finds you and your families well and safe during these unprecedented times. After over 2 months of uncertainty, I'm happy to announce we're going to be reopening our office for elective dental care. Even though we haven't been able to attend work in your typical fashion, the entire team's remained in constant communication during the shutdown, preparing and training to reopen safely and efficiently. While our practice has always maintained the highest levels of safety protocols, due to the new realities of COVID-19, we've adapted an even higher standard of precaution now. I'm excited to share these updated protocols with you today, as it'll help ensure the safety of our patients and team members. Following the recommended guidelines of the CDC and Illinois Department of Public Health, we're adopting a new social distancing protocol. Please arrive 10 minutes before your appointment and call us to let us know you're waiting in your car. We'll call back to invite you when we're ready. If you have driven a patient to their appointment, please remain in the car. We cannot provide masks for every patient, so you must bring your own. And I'd recommend bringing a sweater or a coat, as the office temperature will be a little lower than normal due to the extra protective gear that we're now going to be wearing.
All right, so I'm not going to show this entire video, but you get the idea. It's professional, he's confident in their procedures and their protocols, and it makes me feel at ease about my appointment when I go to that practice, that they will be ready for me, they'll keep me safe. Okay, I'm going to share a second experience with you that isn't dental related. So a couple weeks ago, my wife and I decided that we wanted to get takeout. And there's a local taqueria called Taqueria 27 that we love, that we've been to multiple times. And so we wanted to get takeout from that restaurant. We went to their website and we saw that there was a link to place an order online. When we went to this link, we noticed we had to create a login and a password. And once we logged in, we were trying to navigate on our phone, and it was really difficult to navigate and to order. So we got kind of frustrated and decided that we'd just call the restaurant. So we called them, we placed our order, and then we drove over there. When we got there, we expected maybe someone would be watching for our car. Maybe there was an opportunity to call from the parking lot to tell them that we were there. And none of this was there. So my wife decided to go in. And when she went in, she saw something kind of like this. There were people also waiting for their order inside. Everybody was kind of close to each other, which was a little concerning for my wife. But that was okay. So when she got to the front, the cashier told her that it would be 30 minutes until her order would be ready. Now, this was frustrating. We were really hungry. So she decided to cancel her order, and we decided to go somewhere else. Now, another place that we love is the Habit Burger and Grill. This is a larger chain. Many of you might know the Habit. We love their burgers. So we decided, well, let's just get Habit. So I have the app already on my phone. I've ordered from them in the past. I was able to pick an order that I had already ordered before that was saved in there. My credit card was saved in there. When I placed the order, it told me exactly what time my order would be ready. When it was ready, they sent me a text letting me know that it was ready. And when I pulled up, the person saw my car, the employee saw my car, she came out, she handed me my order, I didn't have to exchange a credit card or anything, and it was over. And this experience was so seamless and so easy. And it made me think and compare both of my experiences between the taqueria and Habit. Why did I expect taqueria to give me the same experience as the Habit? I know the taqueria is a smaller business. It's not a chain like The Habit, but I expected the same amount of service and the same amount of catering to my needs and the same amount of precautions for my safety as The Habit would give me. And I was thinking about this with dental practices. People expect this level of safety with your practice, especially because you are a healthcare professional. And this is the bar that has been raised right now during this whole COVID-19 pandemic. People expect businesses to cater to their needs. So this is kind of what we're calling the new normal. And you've heard this probably a lot, everybody talking about what the new normal is. But let me talk about how you can change your marketing and adapt your marketing to some of these needs that people have right now. I read a lot of dental marketing blogs, and this is a quote from a blog that I read recently by Lynn Clement. She is the client success specialist at Apex Drop. They're an influencer marketing agency. And she said, consumer attitudes and behaviors are changing. Marketers must start there. Digital experiences will replace in-person experiences. Some of the new habits will become the new normal, even after the crisis passes. Looking ahead, the best companies in the world will prepare now for how to meet the needs of consumers where they're at when the recovery period begins. Don't expect consumers will return to the same place. So people's habits are changing and their behaviors are changing, and we must adapt to that. It will be different than how it was before. This is another quote by Nick Mercurio. He is the Executive Vice President and Service Line Head at U.S. Channel Performance at Ipsos. They are a data analytics company. And he said, the ability to deliver on health and safety efforts is now the most important aspect of the customer experience, and it will be for some time. We found that 62% of shoppers would stop shopping at a retailer not taking health and safety seriously. So we have these two aspects of the change in consumer behavior. First, there's convenience, right? And there's the digital expectations that consumers have with a company. And second is this idea of safety and the attention that needs to be taken that needs to be given to safety precautions. So the mindset, back to this mindset that we need to have. Before you hear all of the different strategies and tactics that you're going to learn in this conference, you need to be in the right mindset. We must change our digital marketing strategy according to current consumer habits, feelings, and concerns. And this will be something that you need to be aware of forever. As consumers change and their mindsets change, we need to adapt. So I want to ask this question. What questions or concerns have you seen or heard the most during this time? Maybe concerns that people have messaged you, that you hear in the office when they come in. What are your consumers or your patients thinking right now? Please comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear everything that people are hearing right now, and so we can better help adapt and create a strategy to help you through this time. I want to end with this comic. This is by Tom Fishburne, and he created this kind of as he's seen all the companies that have tried to adapt to this digital transformation. And you'll see in this, the leader says, since it's our top priority, what do we mean by digital transformation? And you have someone say Zoom meetings, another person say using Slack, another person, don't forget to be agile, and something with the cloud. Someone says making TikTok videos. And then he says, maybe we should start with what it doesn't mean. You are going to hear so many different tactics and strategies in this conference about what you should be doing to digitally transform your practice, and it's so important. But remember, you need to be in the right mindset first before you try any of these strategies, or none of them will really work. We have created a 5-phase process for you to transform or to transition your practice as you open. And some of these strategies and some of these points were during quarantine, but others of them are after you open your practice. It's what you should be focusing on in your digital marketing. So first, we had access and availability. This was mostly during the time of quarantine. Second, we had relationships and reputation, really building those relationships and maintaining the reputation with your current patients. Next, safety and scheduling. This is right before you open. You should be focusing on your scheduling and the safety of your patients and your team. Once you open, the focus should be on your expertise and empathy, showing that you're competent in what you're doing, that you're showing your expertise as a healthcare professional, and you're also showing empathy to some of the concerns of patients, their anxiety, and maybe their financial struggles that they're having right now. And then next, convenience and consistency. And this is what's going to take you on into the future of your digital marketing strategy of being convenient and also being consistent. So please, we would encourage you to download this worksheet for free, where if you go to info.mysocialpractice.com/worksheet, you can download this 5-phase worksheet for free, and we would love to help you at My Social Practice with anything that you're trying to do right now or any of your concerns. So please ask any questions that you have in the comment section below. Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to seeing you in my second presentation tomorrow. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Blake, for that presentation. So I asked in my presentation about some of the questions and concerns that you're getting right now in your practice as patients are coming back. So we are getting some comments about that. Let me just address some of these comments. So someone said the most common questions are around PPE. A patient asked if our iPad had been sanitized before he touched it. Do we have to wear masks? I guess if they have to wear masks. Parents going back with their kids. Patients want to feel normal. I think all of this shows that if you can address these concerns beforehand, and as you're thinking about creating a video like I showed in my presentation to address these concerns, think about these questions. Talk about how you sanitize everything, whether it's an iPad or the pens that they use or whatever it is. Talk about wearing a mask. Do they need to or do they not need to? If you're going to greet them in the parking lot before they come in. There's so many things that you can address around this. But try to make that video short and sweet. But again, this just shows the importance of digital marketing right now. So.
Yeah, definitely agree. And patients are asking these questions because they want to know. So they are in the comments. If you want a little reference point, save these so then you know what talking points to talk about in your videos. So reminder, keep asking these questions. And if you noticed how fast Blake left his house and came back, he didn't even get any speeding tickets or anything. We just want to acknowledge that these are pre-recorded because of COVID-19, but our presenters will be watching the feeds to answer your questions live. And I think we have something awesome now.
Yeah, so Hartley actually mentioned about giveaways that we're going to be doing in between presenters. And so we have our first prize giveaway. And this one's from My Social Practice. We will be giving away quite a few of these throughout the next few days. But our first one is for a $50 Amazon gift card. And we'll actually send this to you directly if we pick you as a winner. So all you have to do to enter this giveaway is first like My Social Practice on Facebook. So scroll up and click like on our page if you're watching it on My Social Practice's page. If you're watching it on Crown Council's page or Ultradent's page, go over to My Social Practice for a minute and click like on our page. And then number 2, just comment with MSP, stands for My Social Practice, on the stream. So comment right now with just MSP, and anybody that comments with MSP, we're going to pick one of the winners, and we'll send you a direct message and give you this $50 Amazon card. So go ahead, start right now and comment with MSP on the feed. All right, we're going to jump into our next presentation by Steve Anderson. Steve Anderson is one of my good friends. We've worked with Steve for years through the Crown Council and TOPS the Total Patient Institute. And let me just introduce him really quick with his bio. So Stephen J. Anderson is the founder of Total Patient Service Institute and co-founder of the Crown Council, Dental Warranty Corp., and Smiles for Life Foundation. He has pioneered leading dental case presentation methods that have allowed top practitioners to connect excellent clinical skills with patient acceptance. His management systems are at the heart of helping practices create and maintain a culture of success. He has teamed up with top dental clinicians to help dentists implement clinical protocols for treating periodontal disease with the latest science for total health. He has also helped lead the largest cause-related charity campaign in dentistry, having raised and donated tens of millions of dollars to children's charitable causes. So we'll turn it over to Steve's presentation.
I'm Steve Anderson, and we're going to spend the next few minutes talking about one of the most important marketing ingredients that you can have for your practice, a compelling practice culture. By way of background, just so you understand the context, I'm the founder of the Total Patient Service Institute, which is a dental practice management, education, and consulting company. Our team spans all over the United States, working hand in hand with practices to implement the highest level of case acceptance and patient service systems. I'm also a founder of the Crown Council, a continent-wide network of dental practices committed to creating a culture of success in their practice, as well as a founder of the Smiles for Life Foundation, which has become dentistry's largest charitable marketing campaign. We'll talk about each of those just briefly, but that's the context for which we will discuss today's topic. So, why culture? Let's take a look at some data. According to one of the most recent surveys done in dental marketing, 81% of consumers said that they prefer to choose their dentist based on the recommendation of another person. Word of mouth marketing remains the number one form of marketing in dentistry. That's never changed. What has changed is all of the different channels that are available to communicate word of mouth. Everything online as well as face-to-face. Of course, friends, family members, and coworkers. And then there's the digital aspect. Word of mouth on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google reviews, Yelp, Nextdoor, all the different digital channels are ways that word of mouth marketing is communicated. But the first and most important topic is, how do you generate word of mouth marketing to begin with? It starts with your compelling practice culture. So what's culture? The late Professor Clayton Christensen at Harvard Business School defined culture as this. Culture is the combination of priorities and processes and how an organization and the people in it act on them daily. The combination of priorities, what's important to you, and processes or the systems you put in place, and how you and your team act on those two things, priorities and processes, to create the total patient experience. It's their experience that they talk about. That experience is cultivated and is brought about by your practice culture. So you can have a culture either by design or by default, but every organization has a culture. And our preference is that that culture be by design, that you create it on purpose. Now, I have a number of different hobbies, and one of those hobbies is that I love to collect organizations that do things particularly well, and then dissect that and figure out the lessons that are applicable across different types of organizations like dentistry. As it has to do with culture, I'd like to share a case study with you today that speaks volumes of how to create a compelling practice culture by design that is worthy of and generates word of mouth. This culture case study happens to be an organization that went through something not too dissimilar from the pandemic that we're experiencing and the shutdown that we just experienced over the last few months. It was plagued literally by challenges and outside forces that brought its organization to a standstill. They fought for survival, and as they emerged, they instilled and installed new leadership. And the first thing that leadership did was established a new written culture. They created a culture by design. Now, that culture came in the form initially of some cultural rules. This speaks volumes to how you can get started by creating a culture by design. These rules were simple cultural rules, behavioral rules by which everyone in the organization agreed to abide in order to have a successful, thriving, worthy of word of mouth type organization. Let me share those cultural rules with you. First rule was follow the leader. In other words, every organization needs good leadership, and everybody needs to follow the leader. Give the leader good feedback, but support and encourage leadership so that the organization can move forward. Their second cultural rule was dump your junk. In other words, the organization had been through some trauma, had been through a near shutdown like we have in dentistry, and they needed to establish a new culture, not bring the baggage from the past with them, but establish a vibrant culture that would be alive and worthy of word of mouth. Third rule was show respect. In other words, great cultures are built on respect for each other and everyone in the organization. Rule number 4, show up. Show up for the important stuff. In other words, there are certain times when we all need to get together, virtually, in person, events, if you will, meetings, that cement and reinforce the organizational culture. You have to show up for the organization and the culture to thrive. Rule number 5 is respect others' roles and responsibilities. In other words, we each have a role to play, and we need to respect that role and support each other in our given role and responsibility. Rule number 6 is respect each other's livelihood. In other words, the positions that we hold have lives dependent on those positions. So we support each other and cheer each other on because lives depend on it. The 7th rule was honor the working relationships that people have. Organizations thrive because of the working relationships that people are able to form. We need to support those and never do anything that would interfere. Rule number 8 was don't take what's not yours. In other words, a great culture thrives based on respect and trust. And rule number 9 went right along with that is tell the truth, don't gossip. And then finally, the last rule is support and cheer each other on. So these simple rules were at the foundation of one of the greatest cultural turnarounds in organizational history. In fact, it was so successful that the organization not only went on to thrive, but became one of the most talked about organizations in history. What was the organization? Well, it's a group called the Israelites, the children of Israel. Who was the leader? A guy by the name of Moses. They were written up in a very famous book. It was a big seller. You probably heard about it. And the fame of that organization or culture spread around the world. Now, there are a lot of reasons for the success of that organization and that culture. And one of the pillars of that success can be found in their original culture document. What were the rules? Well, they're a thing called the 10 Commandments. So important that they were written in stone. Let's review them real quickly. Commandment number 1, no other gods before me. What did that have to do with? It had to do with leadership. In the old culture that they came out of in Egypt, they were steeped in polytheism, meaning multiple gods. So this was a concept that needed to be reinforced. One God in charge. That was a big part of their culture. Number two, no idols. Back in Egypt, they were steeped in idol worship. The new culture, that was off the table. So leave the old culture behind. The new culture that we're moving forward with, no idols allowed. Commandment number 3, no taking of the name of the Lord in vain. That had to do with showing respect. Showing respect engendered respect in the entire culture. Commandment number 4, keep the Sabbath day holy. That was about showing up for the important stuff. Those rituals, those regular meetings that reinforce the culture and the beliefs and the things that were important. 5th commandment, honor your father and mother. That was about honoring the working relationship that people have together, roles and responsibilities, and making sure that those stay intact. Commandment number 6, don't kill. Honor the livelihood of other people. Lives depend on it. You take somebody out and it disrupts the entire culture. Commandment number 7, no adultery. In other words, don't step between the working relationship that people have. It is the glue that keeps the culture together. Commandment number 8, don't steal. Number 9, no lying or bearing false witness. And finally, number 10, no coveting or cheer each other on. Don't have it out for each other, cheer each other on. 10 simple rules. Now, as simple as those rules are, I think you'd agree that even your organization, any organization, has the opportunity to improve its culture. So here's a couple of suggestions. What we did with this concept years ago in our organization is we created our own equivalent of what we call a culture guide. In other words, the culture guide is something that guides the organization, the people in it, and its culture. Now, with everything that we have gone through recently, with the shutdown and with all of the pandemic, we have updated that culture guide. In fact, we call it the COVID culture guide. With the increase in infection control and social distancing and all of the new things that dentistry has had to put in place, we updated the culture guide to include things that are pertinent today, things that we need to do that will make a huge difference in terms of the patient experience. Let me share some examples of some things that are in that culture guide. Number 1, be early. Everyone wants to work with a team where everyone can rely on each other. It starts first thing every day. That's why we all agree that when you're early, you're on time. When you're on time, you're late. And when you're late, you're lost. In other words, since we were shut down for a few months, there were some bad habits that started to creep in. And so this cultural standard is a reminder to everyone that yes, being early, which is the only way to be on time, is a show of respect and helps us run a consistent, well-run organization. That's just one aspect of culture. Here's another one. No complaining. Anytime there are additional protocols that can take time to get used to, in the process, we don't complain or criticize. We find the positive in every situation and we express it. In a time when we've had to make a lot of changes, increase the amount of precautions that we're taking, it can be easy to slip into a pattern or a culture of complaining. And so this cultural aspect is designed to remind us to stay focused on the positive so that we can give our patients a positive experience. This is one of my favorites. Happy to do it. Everyone likes to work on a team with individual members who are willing to do whatever it takes to make things happen. When asked to help or contribute, team members frequently respond by saying, happy to do it. Having a willing attitude makes teamwork happen. That is a simple word phrase being happy to do it. This came from the social norm that crept into our society for whatever reason, that many times when you ask somebody or thank somebody, the common response is, no problem. Well, what's the only thing you heard? They were both negative, no and problem. So to replace that, we say instead, I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it communicates a totally different message. It changes the culture. Finally, here's a fourth example. Think like the patient. If you ever have a question about what should be done, just ask yourself, if I were the patient, what would I reasonably expect and what would exceed my expectations? Every action taken should reflect the purpose of our practice, which is to create healthy, happy patients who repeat and refer. So those are just 4 examples of many of what can be in your own culture guide. So our challenge today is for you as a foundational action to create the right kind of culture that is worthy of word of mouth, that is worthy of online reviews, that is worthy of patients telling their friends and family about you, is to create a culture by design. Your challenge today and takeaway is to write your own culture guide for your practice. If you've done that before, I challenge you to update it with some COVID-related things that address specific issues that we're dealing with now. Now, I don't know if you're like me, I find it easier to edit than it is to create. So as a part of your participation in DDMC, I would be happy to share with you our updated COVID culture guide, as well as an original culture guide that you are welcome to plagiarize and copy and do with as you please. So here would be some suggested action items to go ahead and create your culture guide. We have embodied a lot of the cultural issues that we have developed and researched over decades in the form of this book, The Culture of Success, 10 Natural Laws for Creating the Place Where Everyone Wants to Work. It is the foundation of a great culture and the foundation of word of mouth. As part of your participation in DDMC, we are going to send you a free copy of The Culture of Success with the challenge to create your own culture guide. There is an example culture guide in the book that you, again, can plagiarize and copy and edit for your own use. In addition to that, we'll send you what we call the COVID culture guide, an example of some COVID-specific service items that will help you create a compelling word-of-mouth culture in today's dental environment. And in addition to that, there are some online resources that are a part of the DDMC that we will share with you, again, free of charge, through the Crown Council. So all of that is a part of your participation in the Digital Dental Marketing Conference, something that we're happy to share as part of your participation. So you access a printed copy of the book. You're welcome to go to this mini website. So you can copy this down, post it in your browser, bit.ly/DDMC culture. And if you just put that in your browser and click on it, then it will take you to a quick form that looks like this. And you're welcome to just share your shipping information, and we will send you a copy of The Culture of Success, the COVID Culture Guide, and access information to the other culture-related resources that you can share with your team to create a culture of success in your practice. That's all part of your participation in the Digital Dental Marketing Conference, free of charge for the next 60 days. And then if you'd like to continue, you're welcome to do that, and that's explained on the form. So we challenge you to do that. Create your own culture guide. As a part of that, a part of your culture, one of the things that we are big believers in is the fact that doing good is a huge part of creating a compelling culture in your practice. There's a phrase that's crept into our social vernacular of giving back. We prefer to call our actions doing good. There's a lot of things we do in dentistry to do good. And so through the Crown Council and the Smiles for Life Foundation, which has become the largest charitable cause in dentistry, that's raised nearly $50 million for children's inner city health and educational projects. So we invite you to do good. And here's my challenge to you as part of your efforts to create a culture is our gift to you is the book and all of the resources. We invite you, along with that, to make a charitable donation. Our gift to you is the book. We challenge you to pay it forward, do some good, and incorporate into your culture specific actions that you will take to do good. It's all part of a culture of success. So we look forward to your creating your own culture guide, to devouring the information that's in the culture of success. There's 10 different specific actions to take there, as well as to do some good by paying it forward. So feel free to cut and paste that into your browser, fill out the form here in the next couple of minutes, and we'll rush a copy of the book to you today. That's our challenge to you. The foundation of great dental marketing is a culture, a compelling culture that generates great word of mouth. Create a culture of success. Thanks for letting me share today, and enjoy the rest of the DDMC.
All right, thank you, Steve. And I have Stuart here with Crown Council. We want to know a little bit more about Smiles for Life campaign.
Smiles for Life, sure.
Okay.
So grateful to hear from Steve. Thankful especially to be part of DDMC and Smiles for Life with Ultradent. So Ultradent is our partner along with My Social Practice. As Steve talked about with Smiles for Life, this is an opportunity to do good in a practice. We found that, over the last 20 years, the most successful practices are the ones that are doing good. It creates an incredible culture inside their practice. So whether they're doing humanitarian trips or they're participating in Smiles for Life, that doing good creates a different kind of culture inside a practice. So through Steve's offer and through the offer in Crown Council, we would hope that everybody would not only take the book, learn, continue to train and retrain, but also participate in Smiles for Life. Find a way together to do good inside their practice. So
I agree with you. I think the most rewarding experience you can have as a dental professional is on those humanitarian trips. You are helping people who might not have ever had the opportunity to have dental care, which is life-changing for yourself.
It is. And I would love to hear, or if you have comments that you want to share about what is working in your practice for culture building. Doing good is just one aspect that we have found that builds culture. That'd be a great thing to share in the comments with everyone else is what is working with culture, how are you training culture in your practice, and things that you do on a regular basis that kind of build who you are inside the practice.
Right. All right, everybody. Well, don't forget, we have your quiz pinned at the top. You do need to take that to get your 2 CE credits for this session. Along with that, yes, we are recording this. You can come back to this link. If you are not able to watch the whole thing, we've got your back. We'll be here. Now I want to introduce our next speaker. We have Miss Lacey Phillips. At an early age, Lacey discovered her passion for speaking and entertaining audiences. As a founding partner at Practice Dynamics, she combined her knowledge of dentistry with her passion for teams to deliver customized coaching, workshops, and speaking events throughout the country. While working her way to the business side of dentistry, she was fortunate to learn from top industry professionals. Balancing coaching dental teams with her speaking career is a dream come true. Each time she takes the stage, her passion for dentistry and the dental team comes to life through her words and lessons she teaches.
A new set of eyes from the DDMC. Our patients have always looked at us a little differently. Maybe they've expected a little more from us than from other offices. But now with COVID and all the information that's been given to us, pushed out through the media, we have a whole new set of eyes and a new set of scrutiny that we've probably never faced before. Not only will our patients be looking at us differently, our team will be looking at us differently as well. It's so important that now we have to make everybody feel safe, feel like it's okay to be in a dental practice and it's okay to be in a healthcare office. So let's take a few minutes, let's talk a little bit about the team, maybe some technology and tools that we can implement during this time. And let's talk about those patients. How do we make everybody feel more comfortable and feel safe so that they'll come back to the practice and we can finish out 2020 with success? All right, let's talk about the team. Before we talk about whether or not you guys are back in the office, let's talk about whether or not you were communicating while you were out of the practice. Whether you were closed down for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, we really hope that you were communicating during this time. Because what we find, no matter what's going on in the world, communication is the key. So leave me a comment. Tell me, did you guys communicate during your time off? And how was that? We had many offices that used Facebook. They actually created private pages, just invited the team, and this is how they communicated with each other each day or at least each week. And of course, we're used to Zoom, right? Everybody's used to Zoom now. Everybody's used to being on video, being live, or even recording it. So what type of technology did you use while the team was out to communicate? Now, are you back to work? Are you back in the practice? Are you back where you needed to be? And what kind of communication, what kind of meetings have you had since you've been back in the practice? We actually really hope that's how it all started. You brought the team back at least a week ahead of time and started with a team meeting. We know several doctors had what could be uncomfortable conversations with the team, making sure that everybody felt safe being back, that we were prepared to bring everybody in. And you know, if right now you're sitting here thinking, Lacey, I lost a few team members, not everybody came back, you're not the only one. We heard from dentists across the country who said, some of my team members just don't feel comfortable coming back now. And we understand that. So let's talk about how do we make the ones who did come back feel comfortable? Were you able to get everything that you needed physically, so all of your PPE? Were you able to clean and disinfect to make everybody feel comfortable? Because of course, those are the first things that have to be done. And what type of communication are you maintaining with the team even after they're back in the practice? This is the perfect time to implement weekly team meetings. And certainly if you're not doing those AM huddles, you should be doing them now. Remember, the AM huddle is quick, it's easy, it's just the perfect way to start your day with communications. Shouldn't be any longer than 10 minutes. So the other team meetings we want you to have right now is a weekly team meeting. Maybe this doesn't have to be something you carry forward through all of 2020, but right now during these times, I think it's so important that you guys sit down together once a week and say, hey, how did this week go? How do we feel? How did the patients feel? Were there any real issues that came up that we need to address as a team and make sure that we're all on the same page, utilizing the same verbal skills and education that we need? And also make sure that your team still feels comfortable, that they still feel safe in the office every single day. Next, did you do any type of onboarding or training for your patient or for your team, any onboarding for your team? So if you've never really provided big training for your team before, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to even maybe have job contracts that you didn't have before. Set your expectations for the team. Let them know what they can expect for the next 3 months. And you know what? If you don't know what to expect for the next 3 months, that's okay. Have that conversation. And a big question you're going to want to ask, what are their expectations of you? What are their expectations of the office now that we're facing this new scrutiny? And how can you all come together as a team to make sure that we feel comfortable and to make sure that we have success through 2020? So how are you guys preparing for your patient return? Another team meeting. I know I'm all about the team meetings today, but again, communication is the only way we can really make this happen and to be successful. So as a team, are you guys discussing how do we make the patients feel more comfortable? All right, I have a homework assignment for you guys, but it's actually a little bit of fun. What I'd love for you to do is pair up into teams. You're going to get a piece of paper and a pen, and you're going to write pros on one side, cons on the other side. I want you guys to start out in the parking lot. You're going to start in the parking lot, and you're just going to look around at everything you see. The parking lot itself, the entryway into the office, how does the outside of the practice look? And you're going to start making notes. Everything that you see that's good things that are happening with this dental practice. And then anything that you see or notice that could be scrutinized, or that maybe a different set of eyes is going to look at that and go, I would fix that. I would declutter. I would clean. So you're going to take this concept throughout the entire office. You're going to walk through exactly how the patient does it. You're going to stand where they let you know that they're here for their appointment and look all around. Walk down that hallway to the clinical operatories. Look in the sterilization area. Really inspect your operatories. Maybe you're even going to sit in the chair like a patient would and look around. Look up, look behind the doorways, look behind the equipment. What are those patients' eyes going to see that we're not used to seeing because we're there every single day? Walk yourself back around to where you finish up the appointment and asking the patient for money and asking them to reschedule their appointment. Again, look around with those different set of eyes. What do you see? Documenting all the pros, things that might need to be fixed. And then what we're going to do, you guessed it, we're going to have a team meeting. Everyone's going to come together in one space. This is a safe space, so you're able to give your information back to the leadership and share it with each other. What's fun about doing this in pairs is you might find as a team, you share some of the awesome things that the office is doing right. And then maybe you guys saw some of the same things that need to be fixed, that need to be cleaned or decluttered. So you're going to start making a list on your big, huge boards on the wall. The good things that are happening, things that we need to maybe fix, enhance, or change. The next thing I want you guys to do is you're going to discuss how are we going to change these things. So here are the things that you're going to talk about. What needs to be fixed, changed, or cleaned? Who's going to be responsible for those changes? How will those changes be made? And then you're going to put a time limit on it. So are these short-term goals, things that can be done in the next 30, 60, 90 days, or are they longer-term goals? And then, of course, we have to discuss as well, what's the cost that goes along with doing all this? See, because you might notice some things that just simply need to be decluttered. You might notice some things that need a little bit deeper clean than what you've done in a long time. And then there might be big things that have to be fixed that are a little bit more expensive, and you're going to make a plan for that so that everything can get taken care of. It's actually a little bit fun to walk through the practice, look at it through a completely different set of eyes, and to notice those things. And then makes you feel good, makes you feel like you got something accomplished when you do accomplish the quick list, the short list, the easy list. So remember, as a team, you're looking through a completely different set of eyes as well. So speaking of those eyes with the patient, let's talk a little bit about our patients and how are they feeling. Again, I want you to leave me a comment and let me know, did you guys communicate with your patients during your time off? If you did, how are you doing that? Were you sending mass emails? Were you sending text messages? Or did you do some fun videos? I have to tell you, I love micro videos. Micro, by that, I mean under 90 seconds. Micro videos are just quick and easy, full of education and information, and they should be fun. I'm hoping that you guys created some videos and were able to send those out to your patients during the time off. I'm also hoping that you're back at work. How are your patients feeling? Do they feel comfortable being back there? Are they happy to be back? Again, we're hearing from dentists across the United States that are telling us our patients are actually thanking us for opening the doors again. They're very appreciative to be back in the office. Of course, there's going to be some questions for you. How are you dealing with the safety issues? How are you keeping the patients comfortable and safe in your practice? Again, I'm hoping that you guys did a video before the patients ever came back, helping them understand these are the changes that you've made based on COVID regulations and guidelines, but there's some other guidelines that we can look at as well. I know the ADA pushed out a really amazing toolkit. It included patient forms, guidelines, even some verbal skills and education. If you haven't looked at that yet, go to the ADA website. It's a great little educational tool to help you guys feel comfortable getting those patients back in the practice and hopefully helping your patients feel better being back in the practice as well. And then what about that schedule? Whew, I know we all had to cancel a lot of patients. Getting them back on the doctor's schedule hasn't been as difficult, of course, but getting those hygiene patients back, this is the tough one. Tell me in your comments, how are you getting those patients back? How are you communicating with them? Again, a quick and easy video from your hygienist, from your chairside assistants, letting them know, super excited to have the office open again. We're looking forward to seeing you, and here's what you can expect from us. What might even be fun? Let the business team in on this. Business team members, do a quick video. Say, hey, this is how we're going to handle your appointment when you get here. We're going to take your temperature. We're going to get new patient information from you. Give them those guidelines. What can they expect? And I think, again, the best way to do that is by creating a video, sending it out through mass email, mass text messages, and just let them see that face again. Let them know you guys are comfortable being back in the office. You're smiling. You're happy to be there. They can feel safe there as well. Now, even finishing up the appointment, we know that we're trying to do as the least amount of contact that we possibly can. Have you created brand new guidelines on finishing up the appointments? For example, are your patients coming through the front entrance of the office and they're leaving out the back entrance of the office? This is definitely something we want to communicate to them. Another great technology tool that you can use during this time are the pay-to-text apps. There's several different apps that you can use this through. Maybe even your practice management software will allow you to accept online payments as well as the texting. All of these are going to be possible and maybe even become our new norm in dentistry. Have you communicated with the patient about these changes? You know what I'm going to say here, right? Create a video, let the patients know, hey, you won't be stopping at the front desk again to give us payment. What we're actually going to do is accept payments online or through an app, and here's how we handle that. Rather than send an email or a text with just the words, you guessed it, do the video. Now, if you guys need some help with all these videos that I'm talking about, there are some amazing experts that you're going to be listening to over the next 3 days that can absolutely help you with these. As a matter of fact, I think a couple of the topics might include all of this information. You need to make sure that you stay tuned. Following up with hygiene just a little bit here. Don't forget our hygiene schedule in 6 months, 4 months from now is going to be a little bit messed up because of all the patients that we had to cancel. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to implore you to use your technology again to track those patients. A couple of reports I want you guys to run, past, present, and future. I want you guys to run a report in your software for the past 6 months of patients that were due that didn't have an appointment. Hold on to that list, save it, you're going to need it. You're going to work directly from it. The present. Right now in these 45 days, any patients that are due for a hygiene appointment that don't have one, save that list too. And of course, in the present, any patients that are due in the next 6 months that need an appointment and don't actually have one. This is a great way to be able to reactivate those patients and to make sure we didn't lose any patients while our doors were closed. Hey, guess what? Think of how you can actually communicate with those patients. That's right, video. Text messages, email reminders. This is a great way. I've even seen several dental offices that now on their website, they have all of these guidelines, all of these expectations. I've even seen some of them post these micro videos on their websites for patients to refer to and reflect back to. And of course, we want to use our social media. If you have a professional social media page, which my goodness, I hope you do, you're going to want to post those videos, make sure that you're communicating with the patients through all of that as well. So lots of information today and over the next 3 days. You guys are going to be listening to experts, hearing about the best ways to use your social media, to use your digital marketing. I had an idea the other day. I wanted to share it with you guys and see what you think. What if we communicated with the patients through an open house? And maybe you can't have the real open house because you can't have that many people in the dental office at one time. But what if you had a virtual open house? You guys do the walkthrough, clean up some things, declutter some things, make it look gorgeous and beautiful. And then you have a virtual open house where you invite all of your patients through a Zoom link. Maybe you even have some tea, coffee, lemonade, and you communicate with your patients. Give them a tour of the practice. Let them know, hey, this isn't the exact same practice you remember from March. We want to show you some of the things that we've done. So your virtual open house also welcomes them back with open heart, open mind, and lets them know you can't wait to see them in person again. Just an idea. Have fun with it. And oh, by the way, if you've already done this, leave me comments. Tell me how great it was. Tell me how it worked out. Give us some more ideas on how we can be successful in 2020 through all of this. Again, what I really want you guys to concentrate on, what I want you to remember, it's not the same dental practice it was 2 or 3 months ago. It's not the same team. It's not the same patients. Everyone is looking at us, looking at our practice through a different set of eyes. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It can actually be a really great thing. We want to wish you much success, and don't forget, it's all in the perspective.
Thank you so much, Lacey. Lacey is one of my really good friends. We actually met on the road when we used to go to dental shows before COVID-19. And I would travel a lot, and Lacey would always be at these shows speaking, and she's a really good friend of mine and a great presenter. Lacey, if you're watching right now, put a comment in the stream. If anybody has any questions for Lacey, please respond to her comment or write her a comment. Anything that you want to talk to her about, I'm sure she'll be happy to interact with you. I wanted to talk about some of the comments that we got that responded to Stuart's question that he had about your practice culture and some of the things that you're doing in your practice to show your culture. And so Carla Uriki, sorry if I butchered that name, you said leading by example. We had Brandy Ensign who said, we had a number of people say this. Brandy Ensign, Jeanette Cabrera, Ashley Smile, great last name.
Great.
Mark Wickerink, you all said team Zoom meetings, group texts, Facebook groups that you've created for your team members. All those things are such great ideas to build that practice culture, especially during the time of quarantine. We saw a lot of practices do screenshots of their Zoom meetings and tell everybody that they're still working together and they're still doing everything that they can to prepare to reopen. So thank you for commenting with those comments. So I want to announce the winner of My Social Practices giveaway that we did a couple presentations ago.
Drum roll, please.
Yes, so the winner is Allie Pierce. Congratulations, you have won a $50 Amazon gift card. We'll send you a direct message and ask you how you would like that sent to you. So be waiting for a direct message, Allie. Thanks for watching.
Congratulations, Allie. I want to give a big shout out to the East Coast right now. We've got some people from New Jersey and Florida who are here watching. West Coasters, where are you at? Come on, we're here in Utah. Represent. I want to give a shout out to Chitra Durgam, Liang, and then of course, Allie Pierce, way to go. Ashley Smile, can I have your last name? That would be awesome. Okay, we also now have another giveaway, and it looks like it's from Lacey. So she is giving away a free 30-minute video coaching. This is perfect. That's everything that she just talked about. The rules are...
Like Practice Dynamics Facebook page. So go to Practice Dynamics, which is Lacey's company. Go like her page on Facebook.
So go like Practice Dynamics page, come back to your feed, and comment coach on this stream now.
Maybe she'll help you with that virtual open house idea. I loved that idea, Lacey. I think that was perfect.
That's
if you can
so
coach
cool.
Practices on how to do that, I think that would be really helpful.
I like the idea of having the tea that they also can't drink. Like, you want to be here,
Yeah.
you can have this the next time you come in.
All right, so I'm going to introduce our next speaker, which is Eric Roman. Through his prior experience as a dental group founder and CEO, Eric delivers uncommon insight from group inception through exit, with a focus on helping leaders accelerate life satisfaction, impact, and sustainable culture. He channeled that operational experience to later serve the industry as an executive coach, strategic advisor, and thought leader. Finally, as of 2020, Eric gets to live out his passion for transforming business by elevating all people to their highest and best purpose through joyfulpeople.com.
Hi there, I am Eric Roman and welcome to my dungeon. Hey, for the past 10 years or so, I have been living life as sort of a CEO inside of dental groups I've been building. Can I tell you a story about that? Doesn't matter, I'm going to anyway. Part of my job as a CEO was to teach my teams, was to teach my managers, my leaders, core concepts like important illustrations of how they should be executing as managers and leaders. And we did that every Friday. We had a Friday get together where we would go through those concepts, and I would teach something to them that hopefully they would apply or not. And one Friday morning, we weren't meeting until about 11 o'clock, and I thought it would be a great morning for me to have a quick date with my then, 10 or 11-year-old daughter. And as we always did for our little dates, we went to Starbucks. Please don't judge me for caffeinating my daughter with lattes at age 10 or 11, but that's my problem. And so we were sitting there in Starbucks, and my sweet little daughter said, "Oh, Daddy, what are you doing at work today?" And I thought, oh, it's kind of fun. I'm actually teaching some things to my managers, to my important managers. She was like, "Oh, well, what are you going to teach them, Daddy?" And I thought, well, I might as well just teach her the concept. And so it didn't take long, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I walked my sweet Lila through this entire concept, and she, seemed to absorb it or whatever, which was cool, but later blew my mind. A couple of days later, she came in, and we were sitting down in the house, and she was like, "Dad, hey, I wanted to tell you about something that happened at school, which is always like, oh crap, what happened? And what she proceeded to do was walk me through an event that had occurred with another student and then show how she had applied that concept I taught her at Starbucks the week before. She's like 10 years old. You know what? In all my years, I don't know that I had ever had a manager that had so quickly applied a concept and come back to me with results and talking about how it had had a benefit to them. And I thought in that moment, all this time, have I been focusing my efforts on the wrong audience and missing out on some incredible potential value with another audience, like my children? Dental marketing is the exact same way. For years, I know what you've been doing with your marketing. Oh, I know. I've seen it. And I'll tell you straight up, you have been missing out on potentially the most valuable audience that you could market to. We'll talk more about it in a moment. Well, hello again. A bit about me. My whole life is dental group. That's what I've lived for over a decade. My dental groups over that time have done somewhere about $200 million worth of dental care, and which is pretty cool. And I did a lot of marketing during that time, a whole lot of marketing. I think that when we last ran an estimate, I spent more than $15 million in marketing. Don't do the math on the percentage that is because it's high. And do you know what it means when you say you've done $15 million worth of dental marketing? It means you've screwed up a lot and wasted a lot of money. Now, no offense to the great marketers that we have here. That's why I didn't have the pleasure of learning from all these great DDMC folk. But alas, what's interesting about dental marketing is that we always say our target audience, we want to drive in patients. We want to drive patients into our practices. And so what do? Whether it's direct mail, whether it's web, whether it's social, whatever it is, our goal is to get, phone calls, get somebody on the phone. I learned really early in my career, though, that crappy phone management from my team members meant that phone call that I had paid a dental marketing company to get me actually had no value to my practice. See, actually, even though the marketing drove patients to make the phone call, it was my people inside my practices that turned that phone call into an appointment. And then I go farther and I'll say, well, okay, great, now we got an appointment. But again, it wasn't the marketing that had the patient say, okay, I'm ready. Maybe it helped, but it was the people inside my practice that turned that appointment into case acceptance. And you know what else? It was the people inside my practice that created a joyful experience for our patients to make them want to come back. And it was the people inside our practice that our patients talked about when they left these raving fan reviews on the internet, that gold that you're all dreaming of. It was my people that made that happen. Do you get where I'm going with this? I'll tell you one more story. I was sitting in my ivory tower trying to lead a company one day, and I got a phone call from one of our practices. It's like, hey, Dr. Roman, weird thing just happened. This dentist came in and told me he's going to start working for you. Did you hire somebody? You didn't tell us? I was like, no, I don't remember that. She's like, well, here's his phone number. Give him a call. And I called this dentist up. This dentist like, yeah. Hey, Dr. Roman. Oh, it's so great. Yeah. Just let me know when you want me to start, but I'm ready to start with you guys. I'm like, well, what are you talking about here, friend? He's like, no. I chose you guys. I selected your company as the one I'm going to work for. I was like, can you tell me more? Can we catch up here a little bit? He's like, no. I went to your website. I looked at everything about your company. I looked at all the other dental groups and dental companies around the area. All of them sucked. I wanted to work with you guys because I loved everything. I love this. I love that. I love the technology. I love all the other things that you guys do. You're the one I'm going to work with. I'm like, wait a minute. I wasn't even looking. And this person selected me based on my web presence, my advertising, everything that I did. Must have been an outlier. Until it wasn't. Until there were 2 and 3 and 4. And until we got to the point where in every position inside our company, people were now finding and selecting us just based on our outbound marketing on our website. That's really incredible. So I have established two things for you. Number one, that people matter and that people create our real value inside our practices. And that oddly enough, our outbound marketing impacts our ability to acquire those people. So I'll ask you a question. How are you marketing to your people, to your next prospective team member, to those team members that make everything that you do inside your practice more effective and more enjoyable? How are you marketing to them? You know what they are? They're a target audience. All right, so 2 principles of my first phase of conversation here. Number 1, marketing may drive patients, but people drive value. Yeah, write that down. And number 2, outbound marketing can differentiate you from other prospective employers. Outbound and even inbound, internal marketing can separate you from your competition. All right, Eric, I get it. I hear you. I hear what's going on. Get the principles. This is supposed to be quick, so let's turn it into some real world application. All right, I have 3 applications for you here today. The first is that I often get asked, Eric, what's the greatest challenge facing dentistry right now? What's going on? Without a doubt, the single greatest challenge to our industry right now is our workforce. Workforce? Yeah. Have you noticed the massive shift we're seeing in the behaviors of our employees as we go from one generation of team members to the following generations? As we transition from a more mature, older workforce to this younger generation of millennial and post-millennial employees, are you like all the other practices and companies that I work with? They're seeing a massive shift in those behaviors. What do I hear? I hear people saying things like, these dang millennial employees or post-millennial employees always on their phones. I can't keep them happy. And then they just don't show up one day and then they're gone. Or like, they're so needy. They're always asking for like, what are we trying to accomplish here? What's this? Or just when I get them trained, like they decide they're going to go be a rocket scientist and they'll go do something else. What we're seeing is a massive increase in generational based turnover. Not only that, we're finding that the systems that we've used and created inside of our companies and our practices for the past decades aren't serving us so well with the new generation of employees. And so what do a lot of people do? They pull out their pitchforks and their torches and they're like, darn those new employees, we're not going to go for any of them. We're just going to go stick with the other people. And that sounds good until it's not. Unfortunately, we don't get to choose the horse we get to ride. Now, if you want to survive and perform in the future, you have to learn to ride the horse we have. And this newer, younger workforce is our horse. And it's an amazing horse if you learn how to ride it. And the core of this principle is that we're in a world now where we are going to have more turnover than ever before. And the desire for quality team members has never been higher, particularly in this post-COVID world where everything got flipped upside down. And one of the principles that we always lived by inside of our companies was that, how about we'll talk about a fishing analogy. If you go fishing to feed your family only when you and your family are hungry, what's going to happen? Well, you go out to the pier, you throw your line in the water, you reel in a fish, and you know what? When your kids are back there saying, Daddy, we're so hungry, it doesn't really matter what type of fish it is. This might taste like crap, but it might be kind of small and kind of ugly and look like it's seen better days, but my family's hungry, so we're going to go back and we're going to go feed them that fish. What that doesn't take into account is that all day long, big, beautiful, healthy, delicious fish are swimming by the pier. But if you only go out to the pier when you're hungry and you only put your line out there when you need to eat, you are missing out on those other fish that are swimming by all day long. Those delicious, satisfying fish. And so my principle here, principle number 1 of application, always have your line in the water. You need to be constantly looking and cultivating and being prepared for that incredible, that perfect fit team member who may go swimming by just when you're not ready. Principle number 2. My friends, I've seen how you have been advertising for new team members, like the ads in the newspaper, like those, like, "Hi, we're an established dental practice, currently searching for a highly motivated, quality-oriented new team member to join our stunning team." Guys, that may have worked for the past 20 years. Ain't gonna work no more. My friends, it's 2020. Comes to reaching out and finding and cultivating and marketing to prospective team members, you need to act like it's 2020. What do I mean by that? I mean, guys, it's all about digital presence. Whether we're talking about website or whether we're talking about social media, actually one of the greatest things I see in us using social media inside of dentistry is how it has the ability to engage prospective workforce. Guys, your website needs to be incredible. And do you know what we did in my companies? We actually created a segment and wanted to draw our patients into it to learn more about the vision and the mission and the behaviors of our company. See, we weren't bashful about what we were trying to do for our patients. It wasn't something that we wanted to hide. And you know, we experienced this other really interesting thing over the years, and that was just this weird, when we would run psychographic and demographic studies of our patient population, we found something really interesting. Our patient population, demographically and psychographically, tended to look just like our employee population. In other words, what I'm saying is that who we were as a group of people ended up being who we served, right? And so why would it not make sense in the same sense that we're reaching out and marketing to try and get these patients, using the same marketing tools to drive our prospective new team members? Because our new team members oftentimes were patients that were raving fans of our practice, that shared the values, that understood what we were trying to do. Are you bashful about that? Are you afraid to share who your company is? Let me tell you a little bit more about what our website had. When they went into our hiring website, so like up there on the main screen, you'd have a thing up here. "Oh, are you interested in working for us? Click here." And when people would drop in there, there was a ton of content. There was videos from me talking about, "Hi, here's who we are. Here's what we live for. Here's how we take care of our team and how we value and appreciate our team. Here's what we're trying to do for our patients. These are the values of our company. This is our mission for what we're going to provide for the world." We went through all of those details in vivid video form, right? Not only that, then we had testimonials from existing team members. And we also talked about what our position was not, right? We'll talk more about the importance of that in just a moment. But the primary point is, friends, it is 2020, and your website and your digital presence needs to look like it's 2020, not just for your patients, but also because your next best team member, that team member that is going to empower your company, that's going to bring joy to you and to every other person inside there, that team member expects your company to be acting like it's 2020. Which brings me to my third point. And my third point, similar to the second, is that you need to leverage technology for efficiency. And, when I talk about 1 and 2, it's 3 is the nice culmination. We've got this massive generational dynamic shift. It's becoming harder and harder for us to train and retain team members. We have to find them. And yet, I don't know about you, but I don't have any free time. I have not been in a dental company or a dental practice in the past decade that was sitting there saying, "Man, we got all this free time. We really don't know what to do with ourselves." You guys are all working yourselves to the bone. And you know what we find all the time is that hiring, we don't have time to do a good job. We don't have time to go out there. All these things you're saying, Eric, they sound great, but I don't have time for that. Digital workflows And digital technology can give you back the efficiency that you need. So think about what I just described when I talked about how your website in 2020 needs to look like 2020 or 2021. How I talked about those videos and everything that we had there. Normally, that was stuff that I had to do in person, in conversation, in an interview with these prospective team members. Now, I didn't have to do that. That stuff could actually happen at night while I was asleep. Interesting point. When do you think you're hiring, right? Oh, we'll manage our hiring with our phone calls and interviews between 9 and 5. Do you know what we found? That the engagement on our hiring website was oftentimes highest after traditional business hours. What's that mean? That means that while you were at home, just like hanging out, watching TV or playing pickleball or whatever it is that you're doing in life, my website was actually talking to people that were looking for a new position and telling them why they should come work for us. You're hanging out and chilling? We were acquiring the best team members that were out there on the market. Not only that, there's other things that we can do with digital technology to leverage workflows. If you've ever heard of it, applicant tracking system, search it on Google. Google actually even has its own free applicant tracking system, or at least they used to, that we used. An applicant tracking system just made it so much more efficient and effective for our teams to be able to go through and say, oh, these people are a good fit. Oh, these are the people that need to come in for an interview. We use technology to allow us to work as a team to bring on that new team member that was a part of our family, right? Like it wasn't all my responsibility and it didn't all fall on my shoulders anymore, thanks to technology. And you know what else? Like that way things could be happening and moving forward while I'm back there drilling, filling, or doing what else I need to do on a daily basis. So back to principle number 3, like you can leverage technological efficiency to improve your hiring. And you know, like other things, Zoom interviews, like we all just figured out how to use Zoom every single day of our lives now, right? During this whole COVID crisis. And not only that, we told the workforce of the world that we're not weird for wanting to do video interviews anymore. We're not weird for wanting to connect over Zoom. How much more efficient can your use of time be if you're leveraging that digital technology? So, have you been listening to me? Have you been listening to my words? I know you have. But what we were talking about today is that your team members should have always been one of your most important target audiences. As we go forward from today into this new bold future, into a new generational dynamic of team members, it's more important than it has ever been. And if you want to make it count, if you want to leverage that target audience and everything that you do, first and foremost, just think about it. Just think about the fact that everything you're pushing out into the world is being seen and evaluated by your next most important team member. What you can do is you can make sure that you're always fishing. Always have a line in the water and be willing to cultivate those applications. It's okay to say, we're not ready for you. It's okay to say, no thanks, not right now. But what if that great big, incredible fish comes along? You want to have your line in the water to catch it. Number 2, if you want talent, the best talent in 2020, then your digital presence needs to look like 2020 or 2021. If you want the best talent, your digital presence needs to be prepared to capture the best talent. We used to say that all the time. Oh, well, like, you know, it was just important for capturing patients. Friends, it's for capturing team members. And then principle number 3, ain't nobody got enough time, my friends. You need to be leveraging technological efficiency by using your digital presence, by creating processes and the ability to present to people and capture people and interview people in a manner that's efficient for you, that doesn't take away maximum time from the many other activities that you have to do on a daily basis. That's it. Does that seem like too much? Are you sitting there a little bit overwhelmed? You know, I spent my last decades building dental groups. I'm spending this next phase of my career empowering people. That's what Joyful is all about. Our new company, Joyful People, joyfulpeople.com, is all about how to elevate humans to their highest and best purpose. If you're interested in learning more about how you can have a joyful experience in running your business, or in elevating your people to their highest and best purpose and getting the most out of that relationship with team members, join us at joyfulpeople.com. It's been a pleasure to share this time with you today. Hope that this meeting is of maximum value to everyone. And so I say, go forth. Godspeed, my friends. Bye-bye.
It's perfect. Doesn't Eric Roman just seem so joyful in general? Was that not amazing?
That was awesome.
And I have to tell you, so I feel like I gotta floss because I can floss in more ways than one. Professional hygienist and professional flossing dancer. Don't you think?
I'm not even gonna try to floss.
Come on, you gotta just try once. Do it for a feed.
No, I can't even
Hey,
do it.
if you guys want Blake Hadley to floss, please drop it in the comments right now. You got it. Just go slow.
There it is.
You did
it!
He's trying
This
to knock
could
over
cause
the
damage
letters.
back here.
All right, guys. Well, we want to know one thing that you've learned from this first session. I learned that our patients stalk us online, which I kind of already knew, but not only on our social media, but on our Google list, on Yelp, on everything that they can find about us. They're looking for that. Blake, what about you?
Yeah, I love that perspective from Eric. I don't think that many practices think about attracting new employees through their marketing and how important that is to make sure all your social media accounts are updated. Show what your team members are doing in your practice. Show some of the fun things that you do, where you go to lunch, all the things that build your practice culture. Make sure you're posting those sort of things on your Facebook page or your Instagram page. And if someone wants to work at your practice, they'll see that and they'll say, hey, this looks like a great place to work. This looks like a great dentist to work for. And they'll be more attracted to want to work for your practice. So I love that perspective that Eric gives.
And another thing is your employees come with patients. Every office that I went to, I had a whole, I'm going to call them a herd, sorry family if you're watching, but I have a whole herd of family members that followed me. I'm one of 7 kids, my mom is one of 10, my dad has 5 siblings, so there's a lot of us, and that's not including all the grandkids because the numbers just keep going up. So culture is important, patients are important, and this is our new normal.
Yeah, so please comment, like Hartley said, comment right now with something that you learned from this session. You can feed off of each other and respond to other people's comments. If you have any ideas, we'd love for this to be a collaborative sort of feed where people are commenting and participating as much as possible. So
we will be back in 1 hour, 1 hour-ish, about 4 o'clock. We're going to announce Lacey's winner then, or are we doing it now?
Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Yeah. Okay, so drum roll, please. Our winner is Gary Bowman. Gary, drop a comment again and expect a DM from us.
Yeah, so Gary, you won a free coaching session with Lacey Phillips. So she'll reach out to you and you can get that set up. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. Please tune in a little over an hour. We're ending a little bit early right now, but please tune in at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to watch our second session.
And continue to share this with your friends, share this in our dental Facebook groups, and remember, to receive your continuing education credits, you have to take the quiz. There's only 10 questions. You've got this, okay? We've taken harder tests before.
Yeah, click on the link. It's pinned to the top of the comments section on this feed. And on all the feeds, if you're watching on Ultradent's page or My Social Practices page or Crown Counsel's page, the link should be in there. The next session will have a different link for a quiz for those 2 hours of credit. So, all right, I think that's it.
Think that's it.
Thanks so much. That was a great first session, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.